Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I've got 4 ideas for lunches for you that are quick and easy but delicious. If you are like me, I sometimes find myself in a rut when it comes to lunches. I don't necessarily have a problem coming up with dinner ideas, but lunches, I either just eat leftovers or can't figure out what I want for lunch. So hopefully these What's for Lunch videos inspire you. They inspire me certainly to make new things and try new recipes. So if you're looking for some lunch inspiration, just keep watching. Now, when I do make lunches that aren't leftovers, normally I stick to wraps, sandwiches, quesadillas, things like that that are quick and easy to put together, but I try to do different variations of that. And I've had a recipe pinned for a while that I've been wanting to try. It is a Thai chicken wrap. Now, I'll link the recipe that I kind of took inspiration from down in the description box below, but I did not follow it exactly. But let me show you how I made these. I had about a half a bottle of Kraft Asian dressing. I can't remember exactly what kind it was. I'll put a picture up of it in just a few seconds. But I had about a half a bottle in my fridge that I really needed to use up. So I decided to marinate my chicken breast in that. Just added the chicken and the dressing to a Ziploc bag. Placed it into the refrigerator. You could do it for a couple hours or overnight. And to cook it up, just to make it easy, I cooked it in the air fryer at about 330 degrees for maybe 20 minutes or so until the chicken was at least 165 degrees. I'm going to mix up the peanut dressing in this small bowl, but first, real quick, I wanted to show you that dressing. So this is the Asian toasted sesame dressing. It's from Kraft. This is what I had left over that I used to marinate the chicken. In this bowl, I'm going to add in the brown sugar, peanut butter, soy sauce, lime juice, sesame oil, minced garlic, and red pepper flakes, and just combine that until it's smooth. Now, this took just no time at all to put together, but this is definitely something that you could make like the night before and keep it in the fridge to make lunch go by even quicker. And another quick note, so the recipe says to essentially boil and cut up your chicken breast, which you can totally do, but this would be a great way to use up leftover chicken, or you could also use a rotisserie chicken. You'd use other proteins as well, or just leave the protein out altogether. All right, so once that's combined really well, I'm going to set that to the side. In this larger bowl, I'm going to mix up my salad. So I'm going to start out by adding some coleslaw mix. This is just some shredded cabbage and carrots. Next, I'm going to add my chicken breast that I cooked. I allowed it to rest for a few minutes once it came out of the air fryer and just cut it into small cubes. I'm going to add in some chopped peanuts and cilantro, and if you are not a cilantro lover, just leave it out. Now, the recipe calls for green onions, and I wish I would have had some to add. I did not, but that's okay. It was still yummy. I'm going to stir the veggies up until they're well combined, and then I'm going to pour over the salad dressing, stir that up, and then set that to the side, and we'll make the wraps. Now, this was the first time that I made this recipe, so I did the salad dressing separately from the salad, but for less dishes and to make it easier, you really could just mix up the salad ingredients in the bottom of the dish and stir everything together at the same time. All right, so all I'm going to do is lay out a tortilla, lay down a bed of romaine lettuce, add my Thai chicken salad on top of that, and then roll that up, and that's it. So to serve it up for lunch this day, I just served it with some fresh watermelon and a little bit of that peanut sauce on the side for my hubby for dipping, and that was lunch this day. These wraps were so yummy, and that salad just by itself, like if you're trying to cut down on carbs or you don't want to fool around with the tortilla or whatever, you could just eat this as a salad. It would be super, super yummy. Next up, I'm making a chicken bacon ranch panini. I love the chicken bacon ranch combo, whether it's pasta, sandwiches, quesadillas, pizzas. It's one of my favorite combinations. All right, let me show you what I use to make these. First up for the chicken, I'm using this rotisserie seasoned chicken breast deli meat. This is another great use though for leftover chicken or rotisserie chicken. I've also made these in the past using like the Tyson frozen grilled chicken, either the diced grilled or the chicken breasts themselves. Use whatever you've got on hand or whatever you and your family prefer. For the ranch dressing, again, use your favorite. This is some homemade ranch dressing. I just use the Hidden Valley Ranch packet and follow the instructions. I'm using some sliced cheddar cheese. For the bread, again, use whatever you prefer, what you've got on hand. I have a couple of these Lewis steak rolls that I need to use up, so I'm going to use that. And then for the bacon, Again, another great use for leftover bacon. I bake this up in the oven. I also sometimes will use like the pre-cooked bacon and just pop that in the microwave. All right, let me show you how to put these together. I'm going to cook these on my Cuisinart griddler. I have that heating up in the background. I'm going to assemble the sandwiches while that's heating up. So I'm laying out my rolls. I'm going to add some ranch dressing, and you do want to be kind of generous with the ranch dressing. I'm going to take a spoon and just spread that out a little bit. Next, I'm going to add my cheddar cheese, then the chicken breasts, and then the bacon. Once I've added that, I'm going to add the tops of the rolls to the rest of the sandwich. And I decided to add a little bit of this Country Crock quote-unquote butter. I know it's not real butter, but I'm going to add that to the tops of the sandwiches. You totally don't have to do that. It just helps it get a little bit crispier and a little more brown. Next, I am going to get these cooked up. So my panini press is nice and hot. I'm going to add my sandwiches and press it down. If you don't have a panini press, no worries at all. You can bake these in the oven, cook them in the air fryer. You can cook them in a skillet over the stove. And you can also just use a spatula to press them down, or like a cast iron skillet or a heavy skillet. Now, when I use panini presses, I do like to rotate the sandwiches about halfway through, just so they get, kind of more evenly flattened. And it doesn't take very long at all to cook these. You're basically just toasting up your bread and melting the cheese. So once that's done, the sandwiches are ready. So to serve these up, I served it with some fresh watermelon. I wasn't super hungry this day, so I just had the watermelon. For my husband, I also gave him some chips. Really easy, just a handful of ingredients, not a lot of time, but these are delicious. So yummy. Quesadillas are another one of my go-tos for lunches because, once again, they are quick, they are easy, they're delicious, and best of all, it's a way that I can use up leftovers. I can use up odds and ends of things that I've got in the fridge that I need to, use up before it goes bad. I've had this pinned for a while and have been wanting to make it. It's an Alice Springs quesadilla. Let me show you how I made it. And a quick note, I apologize, I forgot to mention this. Alice Springs chicken is a dish that Outback Steakhouse sells and carries. And so this is basically like a quesadilla version of that dish. So we're first going to need some tortillas. We need some shredded cheese. I believe the recipe calls for shredded cheddar cheese. I had a little bit, but not a lot. So I'm also going to use some shredded mozzarella. We need some bacon. I'm using this bag of bacon pieces from Sam's Club. You could use leftover bacon, turkey bacon, or, just use like bacon bits. We also need some chicken. Again, another great use for leftover chicken, the frozen chicken or refrigerated chicken. This is a rotisserie chicken that I had left over that I already shredded up. And then we also need some honey mustard. Use your favorite brand of honey mustard dressing. This is just some homemade. I love homemade honey mustard dressing. It's so delicious and it's super easy. It's only a couple of ingredients. It's mayonnaise, mustard, and honey. I'll put my recipe that I use in the description box below. All right, let me show you how to put these together real quick. Just like with the paninis, I like to go ahead and assemble them while my skillet is warming up. So I'm going to lay down a tortilla and then add on a generous layer of cheese. You want to go as close to the edge as possible. If you go a little over, that's okay. Once I've added the cheese, I'm going to add over the chicken. And I like to just kind of spread everything out. One, so you don't have a super thick part of quesadilla, but also two, so you kind of get a little bit of everything in each bite. Next, I'm going to sprinkle over some of the bacon. I'm then going to drizzle some honey mustard over top. And again, be a little generous with the honey mustard. We're going to add a little bit more cheese, and then we are ready to grill these up. I've got my griddle skillet over about medium heat. I'm going to add just the tiniest little pat of butter. And I've mentioned this before on my channel, but when you're making quesadillas or grilled cheese sandwiches, you want to kind of go low and slow on this. If you have your heat up, yes, your tortilla or bread will get brown, but your cheese won't be melted inside. So really, I would not go above medium heat. You could do this in the oven. You could cook these in the air fryer. If you're making these for, your family, you could also do it like on a griddler. So I'm going to cook this for a couple minutes on the first side until the tortilla is golden brown and the cheese is melted. And then I'm going to just kind of pick the quesadilla up. And you don't have to do this, but I like to add just a tiny little bit of butter. You could also, while the tortilla is cooking on the first side, you could just take some softened butter and spread it on top. You'll cook these for another couple minutes on the second side, again, until that tortilla is toasted and your cheese is melted, and then it'll be ready to cut up and serve. All right, here is my plate. Now, normally I'd serve this with some fresh veggies or fruit, but I had a little bit of loaded baked potato salad that really needed to be used up, so I just served it with the quesadilla this day. This was delicious. That quesadilla was so yummy. I'll definitely be making it again. It was something different. It was a new take on a quesadilla, and like I said, it was yummy. And also, I served a little extra honey mustard on the side for dipping. So good. The last lunch idea I have for you today is a good old classic ham and cheese sandwich. I know a lot of us grew up eating ham and cheese sandwiches, just some, sliced Kraft American cheese with ham on white bread grilled up. Yummy, classic. I'm going to change up just a couple of ingredients today. I wanted to make it a little closer to the ham and cheese sandwiches that like Hardee's has, so let me show you what I used to make these. First, for the bread, I'm using some brioche hamburger buns. You could use regular hamburger buns, really whatever kind of bread you want. Like I said, I'm just going more for the Hardee's version. I have some sliced ham deli meat. I've got some sliced Swiss cheese that I need to use up. You could also use cheddar cheese, Colby Jack, pepper jack I think would be good on this. Just use whatever you've got. And then softened butter. Now, I didn't have any softened butter this day. Well, I had butter, but it wasn't softened. You know what I mean. It was in the refrigerator, hard as a rock. So I just used some of this Country Crock quote-unquote butter. Again, you don't have to tell me. I know it's not real butter. I'm well aware of that. But it's spreadable and easy to use, so that's what I'm going to use today. All right, let me show you how to put these together. So easy. I'm opting today to cook these in the air fryer. I use my air fryer a lot for lunch, to be honest. There are several different reasons for that. One, it's easy, it's quick. Two, I don't have to heat the whole house up. I don't have to, let the oven heat up for 15 minutes. And then three, it's less dishes. I don't have to worry about cookie sheets and all that other jazz. So I'm going to take the hamburger bun. I added some of that Country Crock on each piece. I placed it into my air fryer with the buttered side up. I cooked this at about 350 degrees for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. You don't want it to get super brown. Once the buns have slightly toasted, I'm going to add on some of the cheese and the ham, and then I'm going to place the top of the bun back on and place this back into the air fryer for just another couple minutes until the cheese is melted. Once the sandwich was done, I added a thin layer of honey mustard. This was delicious. It was so yummy. Totally hit the spot. I love the Swiss ham honey mustard combination. It's delicious. I served it up with some fresh veggies and fruit, and that was my lunch this day. And I do want to mention, I apologize, I forgot to mention earlier, but I've said before, I do work from home, but I used to work outside of the home, and all of these ideas that I've shared with you today are totally things that you could make in advance and take with you to work. They would be just fine, cold, or you could also warm them up once you get to work. Now, the Thai chicken wrap, personally, I would wait to assemble the wrap until you got to work, until you're ready to eat it. The wrap might get a little bit, soggy on you. So I would just pack the salad and then pack the tortillas separately and then put that together once I got to work. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this gave you some lunch ideas for you to try. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.